Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal.
Case file number 862, written by Enigma Nix, driving a loop that doesn't exist. My brother was picking me up from the airport. I used to fly a few times a year from London to visit my parents, and he would usually be the one to pick me up. This time, he picks me up again. We're driving on the highway. It's a straight 4-lane highway. You pass 3 big cities before reaching my town. You don't drive through the cities. It's a freeway circuit, and there's absolutely nowhere you can turn as the highway has barriers on both sides and in the middle. You only drive off the highway just a few miles before reaching my town. So we're driving, and as we're approaching the 3rd city, which is on the left side of the highway, I called my mom saying where we were and that I'd be home in about 15 minutes. Literally 2 minutes later, we're seeing a big sign, airport, and we're both like, what the hell? My brother had to stop on the side to get out and light a cigarette, totally freaked out and going, what the hell just happened? It almost seemed like someone had just picked up our car, turned it backwards, and we drove all the way back until reaching the airport again. We drove back home totally shaken and saw the whole scenery for a second time, trying to figure out if there was a slight possibility to turn off the highway somewhere, but there wasn't. The whole journey was spooky as hell, and the weird thing was, we only gained like 10 extra minutes off the journey, basically going back and forth 2 times.
Case notes for file 862, driving a loop that doesn't exist. So it is common in these car glitches to either go forward or backwards in time or space, typically not both together, which is an interesting glitch in of itself. Now all that said, if you can be pushed forward in time or in space, like if there's a wormhole and you're passing through it without realizing it's seamless, there's no visual cue to it, and then you're just ahead in space-time. No time has really passed. There's no reason why you couldn't do that the opposite way. A wormhole doesn't have to carry you forward in the vector of your travel. It could just be back or in a different place. You could appear in Australia, driving in the ocean. That would be unfortunate.
Case file number 863, written by dearghewls, the notes that are written into spacetime. I really cannot for the life of me figure this one out. Every now and then, I house sit for my sister. She has a pretty needy old dog, and I'm one of the people she trusts to watch him. I'm house-sitting currently, and the last time I was at her place house-sitting was August. Back in August, she had left cute sticky notes all over the house. One of them had been on the fridge and said, "Dearghewls, thank you so much for all the help. We love you so much. K.O. Sis." And there was another that she put on a bottle of wine that said, "Drink me." I threw the notes away back in August. Fast forward to 2 nights ago. I'm sitting at the bar with some friends, and one of them reaches down and goes, "Hey, I think this is yours." And it's one of the 2 notes. They had just been sitting on the floor under my chair at the bar. I have no idea how they got there. Some people suggested I'd put them in my pocket or purse and forgot that they fell out. But both my jacket and purse I'm currently using have been in storage at my mom's until last week when it got cold. I even called my sister and asked her if she had saved the notes from last time or written new ones. She said no, of course she didn't. I'm gonna be scratching my head over this one until the day I die.
Case notes for file 863, the notes written into the universe. So disappearing object phenomena can happen to anything. When an object simply is de-rendered, the universe loses track of it in a sense, of the data of where it's supposed to be. And it doesn't matter where they are, they could de-render even when they're out of sight, like in a landfill or something. And then they can reappear wherever the universe has connected it to be. And I think typically we're assigned ownership within the universe, things that are supposed to belong to us. I guess the universe considered the sticky notes to belong to you. Unless there was an actual entity that returned it to you, but I wonder why. What possible reason could you need to be reminded of the sticky notes? Maybe to think about your sister again? Maybe for some reason, thinking about your sister in that moment was extremely important to your overall life journey.
Case file number 864, written by Anonymous, when your wealth is linked to the universe. An extremely bizarre incident occurred with my credit card twice during these past few months. For background, I'm an expat living in Israel, but I have a US credit card that I use here regularly, and an Israeli debit card with a completely separate Israeli bank. So here's the story. A few months ago, I went to a pharmacy to buy some prescription meds and paid with my Israeli debit card. It wasn't a tap to pay. I had to insert the card into the chip reader. Despite paying with my Israeli card, I got a real-time notification that my American credit card was charged for the transaction. I checked my statement and it was indeed charged, but the Israeli card I used was not charged. I told myself that I must have accidentally held both cards stacked on top of each other and inserted them into the chip reader together, and I brushed it off. Today, I went to a different pharmacy, different company, and again went to pay for the transaction with my Israeli card. It was also a chip reader where you insert the card, not a tap-to-pay system. Again, I received a real-time notification for the transaction on my American credit card. This time I thought, hold up again? Let me see if I accidentally grabbed both cards and inserted them both. I looked at my gold Israeli debit card, as it was inside the chip reader device. Then I looked over and saw my silver American card tucked away in my wallet, at least 3 feet away from the card reader. When I saw my American card sitting in my wallet, the hairs on my neck stood up. The American card was charged again and the Israeli card was not. I was sure I only used the Israeli card this time. What the literal hell? I will reiterate that this was not tap to pay, and even if it had been, my American card was 3 feet away from the device sitting in my wallet, and it was charged after I inserted my Israeli card. I'm 100% certain of what happened. I double-checked like 3 times to confirm, and the cards are completely different colors, so it was very clear to confirm. I called my American bank to ask if it's possible for my Israeli bank to somehow hack my card or link it to my Israeli account without my consent. It sounded so bizarre to them that 3 customer service representatives hung up on me in a row. I'm no tech expert, but it seems impossible. These are 2 completely different financial institutions in different countries. Has something like this happened to anyone else here? Obligatory disclosure. I do not take drugs, not even marijuana, and have no history of schizophrenia or delusions. I was not sleep deprived, oxygen deprived, or dehydrated during these incidents, and the records still exist as to what happened.
Case notes for file 864. My wealth is linked to the universe. So this is an interesting glitch that could be mundane. It could just be a tech glitch where it's an actual anomaly within the systems we've built, not the universe. Honestly, the complexity of computers and the financial networks that we all depend on is so immensely complex that it borders on the realm of mysticism. Most people involved in it, the single person, couldn't tell you exactly how it all works. It's all an interconnected web of complexity and variables and abstraction. It's really impressive. Still, what you described should not be possible, especially given that the cards aren't even of the same country. There's entire region codes built into the card numbers. There's no way one could be confused for another, even if they were nearby each other. Even the chips themselves have built-in security measures. There's security checks that are built into the process of verification when you enter your code, or even without it. Even if it's a small purchase and it happens without entering your code, there's still back-end processes that are verifying that this is a legitimate transaction. Indeed, it really was processed as if it was your American credit card and you got a notification on your phone stating as such. So I don't know how that could happen, honestly, outside of some actual glitch in the matrix. That the universe glitches out being more probable than an actual human tech glitch, it's kind of funny, but I think it's true.
Bonus file, written by Marshall Dill 26. The Working Man Ghost. Ever since I was a kid, I've always had a fascination with the paranormal. I'm not sure how to word this, but I'll do my best. Anything paranormal caught my interest, but I also had a healthy amount of skepticism. This event made me a believer, though. One of my best friends had moved into a new place with his fiancée. I came over after they had been there for a few weeks, and we stood in his driveway just bullcrapping. From his driveway, you can see into the hall and all the way down to the bedroom. I looked over and saw a man in a navy plumber's outfit walk into his bedroom. I looked over to him and asked if he was having work done. He looked very confused and said no. I was like, dude, I just saw a guy in a blue. Before I could finish my sentence, his fiancée butted in a freaking blue jumpsuit, I told you. Turns out she had seen the same guy a few days prior and my friend just laughed it off. We did some digging and sure enough, the guy that used to live there was one of the local plumbers. He died in the house.
Case notes for the bonus file, The Working Man Ghost. Well, this is a complete little story. I love it. You have the wife completing your own thoughts and describing the ghost as you saw it, so you know she really did see it. Unless it's some kind of prankster imposter that's just breaking into their home and appearing as an entity and then leaving. Okay, I mean, I like prank videos, but that's taking it a bit too far. And I wouldn't place my money on that being the case. I do think it's an actual spirit. And yeah, like you said, a plumber did die there before. So I guess he's lingering on. Too many pipes to fix. And you know, I kind of want to go watch the old Mario and Luigi movie. I know everyone thinks it's terrible, but for me it's just terrible fun, I guess you could say. I love the actor that plays Mario. He fits it very well. And you know, it's just a classic adventure movie. It doesn't have to be brilliant in its writing or anything or plot. It just has to be fun. I think we're missing fun in modern movies. Do you know what I mean? And that's yours truly, Kinetic Symphony, signing off for the night. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy the videos. More to come.